Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily Santini, and this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I take my notes as a junior with a 3.9 GPA and taking 7 AP classes this year. This isn't usually the time that I record, and also pouring rain. So if you guys ever see like flashes, that's lightning, but just so you guys know, that's why. So let's get started. This year I'm going to be taking AP Pre-Calc, AP US Government and AP Comparative, AP Physics 1, AP Lang, Portuguese, AP Psychology, and Broadcasting. And I took APUSH last year, so I'm also going to be talking about how I took notes for that. I'm just going to go like in order of like core classes, and I'm going to start with math. Math is kind of like a hard class to take notes in, I guess, but I'm just going to show you guys how I did it like last year versus this year. So I used these like thin notebooks. This is what I used last year. I think this has 70 sheets. I have a whole video with all like the materials I used, one from last year and one for this year. There, I can put the links on the right. You guys can see the notebooks that I bought it from there, and you can find the link. I use these notebooks. They're thin, which is good. I used 2 of these last year, and I'm probably going to use around 2 of these this year, or maybe 3. I take notes and I do my homework. So just like normally, this is what I did last year for Algebra 2. And then this year, which is slightly different, but it's the same thing. I, take notes, and some of them are really nice and organized, and then some of it is literally just the homework that I did for the class, which is all like here. Because this is what I bring to school like every day. But last year, a requirement that I had for Algebra 2 was that we have these little chapter review notebooks, which was essentially just every single time we would have like a test, we had to like review what we learned. And it's very short, very straight to the point, helps me remember what I had to do, how to do it. And these were guided, so my teacher would actually check them. But this year, so what I'm gonna do, or what I have been doing, is that I'm starting out by doing it in my notebook. I don't know if I'm gonna continue it this way. So this was like my little review for the parent functions quiz. I actually have like a study vlog in which I actually did this in the study vlog. But anyway, so it's essentially like an organized outline of everything that I need to know. Basically what I do is I take notes for the whole unit or all the lessons before the test, and then before the test I rewrite them. It's kind of my way of studying. I will do a whole video which I actually go in depth of how I study and all my study methods. This is just like one of them. So that is how I take notes. My first one is kind of just messy all over the place, and then I reorganize them as a way to study. Next up, we're going to be talking about history. This year I'm taking AP United States Government, and then the second half of the year I'm going to be taking AP Government Comparative. Last year I took APUSH, and APUSH was my first ever AP. That's how my school does it. The first AP is only APUSH. We're only allowed to take 1 AP sophomore year, but anyway, it taught me a lot. First, for APUSH, I took notes online, but I found that it didn't really help me writing notes like online, like typing it. Like it was good at the moment, and I typed it really fast in class, but it's just like it wasn't really working. At the end of the day, when I had to study for the actual exam, I found that it didn't really work the best. So this year, I am taking notes all in this notebook, AP Government. What I'm doing is that I just take notes normally, and I just like title them, so class notes. For me, I found that if I write it down, it'll help me, especially with like the chapter notes and Cornell notes, stuff that we need to know, and like all the analysis of like the documents that we need to know for the exam. Writing it down has been really helpful. I do my Cornell notes here, and then like I highlight like special terms and stuff. And doing it in this way, Cornell notes, I find it really annoying to do it online, and we have to do Cornell notes for my teacher, so I might as well just do it on paper. So this has been really effective for me. Something else that I do is that for me, sometimes writing on hand is a little slower than typing. So like I have this really close friend in my class, and she wants to do her notes online. So then we share notes. So she shares her with mine, and I send her pictures of mine. So just in case I miss anything, or like if I was in the bathroom and he said something important, I always have like an online version of it, and then I can rewrite my notes. Next up, science. Science is, I love science, and the reason I love science is that last year I really struggled with chemistry. And when I say I wasn't doing that well, I had like a B in the class, so I wanted to do better. So I looked at my weaknesses, which was studying, taking notes, and I learned a lot from that class, which is kind of like what I apply to all my other classes now. For physics, we do a lot of work like just in class, or like random questions together. So I have like my notes. This is like the first note we ever took. And then continue notes. Let me find some other stuff. And then I'll start doing like just problem questions. And it's really important that I do it here because I star them because I was confused. So I do my work here. We do similar work problems in class. I have it all in this notebook. Then later, when I get home, I do like an actual review of stuff that I need to know with like actual notes. And this is like actually really organized. Like I'm really proud of this stuff. So, you know, it makes me happy to just have it all like in one place. It helps clear my mind, because something a lot about me is if it's all disorganized, which it has to be because in a notebook that you bring to school, it's all disorganized because it's every day, I find myself worrying that I don't know what I need to know for the quiz. So by organizing it like this, I can see, oh, okay, I know everything I learned in this chapter, I reviewed. After we learn something in class, every day I just go home and I jot it down like this. For English and my language, I'm just gonna put together, which is Portuguese. So English and Portuguese, my elective language, it's very simple. It's definitely not as complicated as these classes because of the fact that we don't take that many notes. For English, she makes us have this like folder in which she just gives us like handouts and the vocabulary, like SAT words of the week and stuff like that, which we fill out in class. And so far, we've taken very, very little notes. This is kind of like the only thing we've done. So, I mean, I have a notebook because sometimes my teacher will just be like, take out your notebook and start writing this down. I'm like, okay. But I don't use it that much. I'm probably not gonna do like a big notebook for it because I just don't see how it's worth it, especially because we have so many handouts. Like we literally are analyzing text, so I would write on that paper versus this one. We have like SAT words of the week, so I'm not gonna take notes on this. When we analyze text, we analyze it on the actual text. So why would I write notes on a separate thing unless it was like commentary or stuff to remember? But so that's why I have a notebook, but we don't use it that much. When she does give us a handout that's important, like ethos, pathos, logos, I do take the notes of the handout and write it as notes, just so you guys know. And then it's kind of like the same thing for my Portuguese class. We rarely ever take notes in that class, which is just like how the class goes. We have more texts, I'll put it again, that we like do vocab and we highlight and stuff. We just have mostly stuff like this. And then sometimes it'll be notes, but she prints out like guided notes. So I don't need a notebook for that. I just need like a folder, which I'll show you, it's my pink one, to kind of organize all of my Portuguese papers. It's this one. And this is also kind of like my master folder. Next up is psychology. So psychology and broadcasting are both my electives, but they're very different electives to take notes on. I would say that psychology is definitely the one that I love taking notes on. So I do really like, eu capricho bastante, like I forgot the word in English now. Or if you speak Portuguese, you get what I'm saying. For class, we have to do guided notes. I'm gonna show you guys my Unit 2 one, which we just started, so it's not filled in. Like, it's only the first page that's filled in, just this one. But just so you guys know, this is what we have to take notes on every single day. So it's stuff for us to fill out, and, it's alright. Like, it's nice, and it's nice that she does this. For my teacher, it really works for her. For me, I find that I'm not really learning anything by just filling stuff out, because psychology is a lot, and this is like it for Unit 2, for example. I feel that for me to actually learn and do well on the assessments, not even just the AP exam, that too, but just on the assessments, I had to take individual notes for myself. So what I do is I take notes here during class, and it's good because this is mostly like a study guide for like what's gonna be on the test. But then I also go home and I take notes from this textbook, which helps me out so much because this basically teaches me, but a little bit more in depth. And sometimes going more in depth helps me understand it more. It just helps it click. So I'll give you an example, psychodynamic. It explained to me how Freud got it from thermodynamics. Just that, like those two words helped me remember that for the test. The explanation really helped me versus just learning about psychodynamics in class. It didn't really make it stick. And then for these notes, I take it on a separate notebook. It's a thick one. I do not have a thin one for this class because the thin one was supposed to be this one. It's actually color matched, all green. Is actually just this because she also she doesn't let us take notes on this. She makes us take notes on this. So I'm just saving this for like something else, and instead I'm automatically just using my big one, and then my notes are me learning it. So this is not like a unit overline. This is actually me learning the notes, and I highlight special terms. So for example, I highlight like representative sample, sampling bias, random sample, stratified sampling to help me actually learn. But yeah, and then broadcasting, which I kind of left it for last, I literally don't take notes at all because that class is very hands-on. That's all the notes I take for school. Each class is very different, but I feel like it's all been influenced by different techniques that I've learned throughout my years in high school, like the unit one and then the writing on a separate notebook one. I think that's kind of like the main things that I use. Is this how you guys take notes? I don't know. I feel like when I talk to my friends, like they don't really go and do this. If you have any like tips of how to take notes in like a different way, comment down below because I'm always looking for ways to like improve. I hope you guys like this video. I love sharing like how I study and stuff because I do watch these videos a lot too. So kind of wanted to do one. If you guys have any questions specifically, something that I didn't answer, comment down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!